Identity theft has been the top consumer complaint filed with the FTC for over 15 years straight. Victims are spending an exorbitant amount of time and money dealing with it. Introducing Cover Your Assets with Nancy O and Harvey Katz. They will bring the latest news on how criminals are getting smarter, and they have the solution to keep them at bay. Nancy and Harvey are informative and will get you motivated to cover your assets. If you want to ask them a question, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and let them get you on the right track in protection. Now, here's Nancy O and Harvey Katz.
Hello, folks. I'm Nancy O, and I'm here with my co-host, Harvey Katz. And together, tonight, we're going to help you understand how to cover your assets. Sponsored by the Harvard Risk Management Corporation. Harvey, would you tell us a little bit about your background, please?
Basically, I'm a serial entrepreneur and head of a couple of public companies, or CEO of a couple of public companies, retired, and a lot of things have been offered to me and came up my way, and I was approached by Harvard Risk Management and by my sister, and after looking at their credentials and doing some investigation, I decided it was a new career for me, and that's when I came into Harvard Risk Management. Well, I'll tell a little bit about myself, Nancy. Now it's your turn. Talk about yourself.
Well, thank you for asking. My background is in education. I've taught preschool to college, and I decided that I wanted to spend committed time, to helping people understand how they can protect themselves. Identity theft is a huge criminal problem now. It's all over the news every night, every morning, all the time, and it's getting worse. So I have a mission to help people understand how to cover their assets. And together, Harvey and I are going to bring you some valuable information.
And while you're on the subject, why don't you tell them a little bit about Harvard Risk Management and who we are and what we do, and even a little bit more about the identity protection company called Kroll.
Yes. Well, Harvard Risk Management, our sponsor, is a corporation, is the largest broker of legal and identity theft plans in the U.S., and we pride ourselves on providing high-quality and affordable services to our customers. For over 2 decades, we have worked very hard to find real solutions to real problems facing individuals and families. Identity theft is a very, very serious problem. There are over 40,000 victims of identity theft every day. It's now ranked the fastest-growing crime in America. The average victim spends hundreds of hours in the process of restoring their identity. 3.5 million children have already fallen victim to identity theft in the United States. These poor little innocent victims of these identity vampires are these vampires find out their Social Security number before they're even out there. Those 9 numbers, they figure it out. I don't know how they code them, but
That's a simple way of that.
Is
The
there?
first 3 numbers, believe it or not, is the state where you're born.
Oh.
And then they know how to manipulate the other numbers to getting children's identification before they're even born.
And the sad thing is, when these, without even knowing about this, when it comes time to buy a car or to go to college or have some kind of investment, all of a sudden they find that they have bad credit because some creep has been using their identity. And, it takes about 60 seconds to find out you're a victim of identity theft and hundreds of hours to restore your identity.
Exactly. It's just an unbelievable amount of time. It takes away time from your job, takes time away from your employer. You're violated with this type of crime. It's just unbelievable what this can do. It's so devastating to the person and the family.
It's so humiliating, and it preoccupies a person and their family, and taking time off to try to find a solution, hiring attorneys to get their identity back, and feeling so violated. But there is a solution, and we have that for you. By the way, folks, there are 6 major types of identity theft and many others, but these are the ones that most people know about. credit cards, and credit, driver's license, Social Security, medical, criminal, and this minor children.
Yes.
And but only 17% of theft deals with credit cards, by the way. Yet most solutions available in the market today only provide solution for monitoring your credit. So
That's unbelievable, but that's
Yes.
it's not a great thing to know.
ID Shield provides so much more. The following services are covered for each member, a person who takes out. And you'll be very surprised how inexpensive it is to have an individual membership and a family membership. It's incredible. When you find out later, you're going to say, wow, that's...
Yeah, it's only $9.95 for an individual and $19.95 for a whole family.
Yeah,
And that
up to
goes
10?
up to 10 members in the family. It covers the wife, the husband, the spouse, the partner, and up to 8 minor children.
And that's unbelievable. You know, the cost, when I think about $9.95, I buy coffee at Starbucks, and a lipstick and,
It's
the whole
actually
thing.
it's actually less
Monthly.
than 60 cents a day.
Yeah, that's, and for peace of mind, we have so many things that happen in our lives. It's called living life. And life happens to have this on top of it. I've seen people actually devastated and destroyed and kind of lose it and actually become ineffective. So let's talk about the following services for each covered member for that $9.95 fee or
that
the
sounds
$19. Okay, credit analysis. These are some of the sources that ID Shield provides for us.
Right.
Credit analysis. Find out how your credit is. Free
A lot
analysis.
of services do that,
yeah.
but we go way beyond that.
Identity theft consultation services, email notification of credit card changes. So if there's any change in your credit, they will notify you. And actually, you get a quarterly credit score tracker, so you'll notice it yourself if there's any difference. The wonderful thing is identity restoration by licensed private investigators and data breach notifications, address change notifications, payday loan monitoring, minor identity protection, and the minor, those little preborn, babies and so forth. And
really, Nancy, how many people actually check the credit of their kids?
nobody.
No, because they shouldn't have a credit report,
course not.
but a lot of them do. Mm-hmm. The great thing about identity theft and Kroll, they actually do check the monitoring to see if that minor has a credit report. If they do, you're notified, and that's how when Kroll steps into action with their private investigators.
And we'll talk a little bit about Carl, but I just want to mention that there's over $5 million service guarantee to restore. That's a lot.
That's the highest one in the marketplace
for
today.
$9.95 a month, and
Yes.
for incredible as a family. Would you?
And the great thing about it is you don't have to take any money out of your pocket to get your credit restored. They do it all for you.
Peace of mind.
Yes, it is. You were talking about the identity theft, and it's like having a smoke detector in your house. A smoke detector is great. That's like a lot of the other monitoring services out there. They do monitor your credit. But we go beyond that. We're like the fire department that comes by to put out that fire. We're like the construction company to build your identity back up to where it was previously. So you have that peace of mind knowing that if this horrible crime happens to you, it is completely restored to where it was before.
How awesome is that? It's like preventive medicine, taking action before it happens. Now, there are people who've had awful things happen, and then they, would like to purchase a membership, but it's too late then. But they can certainly purchase one for the future.
Yeah.
But it's good, prepare yourself now. That's a wonderful
I
small investment.
You want to take a couple of minutes and tell them a little bit about Kroll?
Yes, I'd like to do that. Thank you for asking. Identity Shield is offered exclusively by Kroll Fraud Solutions Group, and it's the world's largest consulting company. And it's founded in 1972 by Jules Crow. It's headquartered in New York City. It operates in 65 cities and 33 countries all over with 39,000 3,800 employees.
There you go. You got the numbers
I got
right
it.
finally.
39.
That's
It's
good.
almost that anyway. 39.
Yes. Well,
Thousands.
most of those folks that work for Kroll are licensed private investigators. So when something does happen, Kroll gets into action. They actually assign a private investigator to you to create a file on your behalf. You sign a limited power of attorney, and that's when they really get into action, and that's when they start to restore your credit for you. Not your credit, your identity for you.
Kroll maintains a superior expertise in monitoring credit and restoring the lives of identity theft victims. Folks, your identity is your business. Protecting it is ours.
Well, I think it's getting close to
Time for
commercial.
commercial, folks. We're going to have a commercial now. We'll be right back.
Legal Shield has provided legal protection to millions of people for over 40 years. We monitor your identity from every angle, not just your social security number, credit cards, and bank accounts. We ensure everything connected to you is safe. ID Shield is the only company with an exclusive partnership with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. If a compromise occurs, contact your licensed private investigator who will immediately begin to restore your identity to exactly the way it was. For more information, call Harvey Katz, a certified risk management consultant. Call 1-888-405-8780 and get started on protection right away. You can visit his website at coveryourassets.tv for more information. Call 1-888-405-8780 and let Harvey help you cover your assets. You are listening to Cover Your Assets with Nancy O. and Harvey Katz. If you want more information, visit coveryourassets.tv and watch all prior shows there. All information on the products will be highlighted on the website. Now, let's get back to the show.
Nancy?
Welcome back, Harvey. Will you share 12 theft prevention tips with the audience?
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit last week, and if you notice, I was saying that we were going to actually talk about 12 preventative tips how people can protect themselves on their identity. And the first is, whatever you do, don't share your financial documents or paperwork with anybody. This personal information. What you should do is, after you finish getting bills and paying them, shred them. It's the best thing you can do.
It's good to have a shredder at home, and there's services that will come by
Yeah.
and shred right at your, at your
And
office
they're so
or anything
inexpensive.
else.
It's one way of
it's like
protecting, a real important way of doing it. It also prevents people from going through your trash after you pay it, bill,
those trash,
and
what do they
seeing
call those?
who you owe, and you get
Dumpster divers?
And dumpster diving is a good word for it. Another one is protect your Social Security number. Don't carry it with you. Put it in a safe and a secure place in your home. The reason why I say a safe and secure place, don't put it in a dresser drawer.
Oh, no.
If people can come in, you don't know who they are. That's the first place they look for something like your jewelry or your credit cards or your Social Security card.
I have mine locked up at home under lock and key, in a place that most people wouldn't look. I keep all my health insurance cards and so forth, and my medical cards, and my Social Security and my passport locked up.
Always.
And
Always
I
do that.
remember my Social Security number. After all, when you're 39, by the time you're 39 years old, you should remember.
Of course.
So I have that in my mind. So
Also, folks, be sure to call in on our toll-free number and ask any questions you may like at 888-565-1470 during the show, and we'll be glad to answer your questions.
All right. If there's anyone out there who'd like to call in and just tell us about what has happened to them or an experience or anything they've heard, please feel free during this time. Or you could go to our website and you can contact Harvey there. Coveryourassets.tv, and you'll see his number, and you could follow through, or that number right there, or his personal number. Harvey, what is your personal
Our
number?
personal number is 888-405-8780.
Okay.
And they can call me anytime. I'd be very glad to get back to them very shortly.
Free information, no obligation.
The other thing is also, going on with the 12 points, don't give out personal information on the phone or on the internet. A lot of times people will call saying that they represent a bank. They're one of the biggest scams in the world. We represent a financial
that's very
institution. And you don't ever forget the scam that you won $1 million, or you just came in, you were inherited $7 million from an aunt that you never knew you had.
Out of the country very often.
Of course. Those are all scams. The other thing is, when you do your passwords, the most common password today, and over 2 million people got hit on their passwords, was 12345.
Well,
That's a horrible password. Never use that. Use a combination that only you know. Don't use your last name. Don't use your birth date. Use a different type of password on your computers, and change them often, by the way.
and actually, too, on my caller ID on my phone, I don't have my name there. On my as a caller ID, I have something else, and I don't want people to know my first name, last name. My name is Nancy O. By the way, I'm protecting my identity here.
Yes. Don't give information over the internet that people request, or don't open unsolicited emails. You always get offers, and if you don't set up a spam account and you get them, don't open up these offers or anything that you do not know the person who is emailing you. They can get a hold of your email address, and from there you lost a lot of your identity.
I have a question. How about when people are enrolling for ID protection, ID Shield? How do they protect their identity if they're enrolling for their
Very
membership?
simply, when somebody, and actually, they would not give myself or you or anybody their identity. They go to a special website from Kroll, and they put an encrypted email to that person to Kroll with that information. So it is encrypted, and that's very, very well protected. If you possibly can, use encrypted websites as much as you can, because it's going to protect you more. Also, be sure to get a copy of your credit report on a regular basis. You can see if you're getting something's not right there, or somebody's trying to change your address. Also, copy the contents of your wallet. 99.9% people never know what documents they actually have in their wallet. God forbid you lose it, you have a copy at home in your secure area, and you can then know who to call very quickly, as well as informing if you have ID Shield. Kroll will have that information for you as well.
About 10 years ago, I was approached for ID Shield, and I really wasn't interested in it. Just didn't mean that much. But now, it's become a hot topic. It's so important.
Yeah.
Everybody wants it. Actually, they're selling it from all kinds of locations now.
Exactly.
As a product in stores and so forth to get this ID Shield.
Do you know, Nancy, that you can actually get a copy of your Social Security earnings anytime you want? And that's good, because you know if somebody changed your address or somebody else is using your Social Security number, because it will show up there. Mm-hmm. By the way, when you're doing, do not mail payments to the electric company or to any store, even the Visas, outside in your house. A lot of people go outside and put them in their mailbox. That's an invitation for somebody to steal, and they got your check number. Mm-hmm. They got all your information you have right there. They have your account numbers, and we're way at the races with that.
Oh, actually, illegal people who shouldn't be in this country are coming in because of identity theft.
Yes.
Passports that aren't theirs, identity thefts, and they're being sold on the marketplace. Packages and bundles of identity, and people leaving also with the bundled packages of identity.
Yes.
And they, it's a hot item. How much for people to have, leaving and coming.
Another thing that they are doing, we found, and this is the latest one, is check your insurance policies.
Oh,
A lot.
yeah,
So
I
I
heard
heard
about
the
that.
last week somebody called me and said they went to the buried. It was a horrible thing for a funeral to go to bury their mother. They took the insurance policy to the funeral director. The funeral director went to verify the policy to make sure it was in good standing, and that it was a $50,000 policy. He said, "Guess what? You only have $2,000 left." Somebody went in and made loans against their insurance policy, changed the address. These poor people were still paying for the monthly premium on it. She passed away, and they didn't even have enough money left to bury
Oh,
the.
how very sad. And if they were a member of ID Shield, they would have been protected. They would have gotten the money back from, the restored
Yeah,
through
they wouldn't.
Kroll's investigators, and the money would have up to $5 million.
Yes, what happens is what they would have done is got right onto the situation, notified the insurance company as soon as a change of address occurred. That would have notified and prevented the people from getting the loan in the first place. And that's what this is all about, protecting your identity.
Harvey, did you cover the tips?
I did most of the tips. There's a few things that people, I think I'm getting notice. It's time for another break.
Yes, it is. Okay. Time for commercial.
Legal Shield has provided legal protection to millions of people for over 40 years. We monitor your identity from every angle, not just your social security number, credit cards, and bank accounts. We ensure everything connected to you is safe. ID Shield is the only company with an exclusive partnership with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. If a compromise occurs, contact your licensed private investigator who will immediately begin to restore your identity to exactly the way it was. For more information, call Harvey Katz, a certified risk management consultant. Call 1-888-405-8780 and get started on protection right away. You can visit his website at coveryourassets.tv for more information. Call 1-888-405-8780 and let Harvey help you cover your assets. You are listening to Cover Your Assets with Nancy O. and Harvey Katz. If you want more information, visit coveryourassets.tv and watch all prior shows there. All information on the products will be highlighted on the website. Now, let's get back to the show.
$9.95. Go ahead.
Hi, by the way, folks, welcome back. And I have to tell you the best tip I can tell you. Invest in a good identity theft plan. I suggest ID Shield, of course, because it is the best, and it is only $9.95 for an individual and $19.95 to cover the entire family.
That is the best. And next week, please tell your friends to join us, and please come back and learn more. And call in, think about it. Don't be shy. Call in, tell us what's on your mind and what happened to you, and maybe we can help you out.
We always are interested in hearing from our friends out in the audience.
And so we're going to have a guest next week. It's a sheriff.
Yes,
right?
we're going to try to get the
Harvey's going to.
I'm going to go out there and try to get a sheriff to
He's
come
going
in.
to make an effort to be part of our program.
See if they could help us and give some more additional tips and tell us how you can protect your assets.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure and to see you again. And I hope you cover your assets.
And whatever you do, you can always remember to call us on our 888-405-8780, and I'll be glad to answer any questions off the air.
And go to coveryourassets.tv, and you'll see all kinds of info there. Good night, folks, and thank you. Ciao.
Good night.